Welcome to the History AI podcast, where the past comes alive with facts, anecdotes, and a dash of humor. Here are your hosts, Chuck and Marco.
Welcome, history enthusiasts, to another episode of the History AI podcast. I'm Chuck.
And I'm Marco. Today we're diving deep into the life of a man who played an integral part in the American Revolution. If you're thinking George Washington or Benjamin Franklin, think again.
That's right, Marco. We're talking about Dr. Joseph Warren. You know, it's said that if he hadn't died so early, we might have seen his face on dollar bills instead.
Our Chuck, always chasing the money. But you're right, Warren's life was extraordinary, and there's so much more to him than meets the eye.
Born in 1741 in Roxbury, Massachusetts, Warren came from a family with a farming background. His father, also named Joseph Warren, was a farmer, and his mother, Mary Stevens Warren, belonged to a prominent family in the area.
A farmer? That's quite a leap from farms to revolution.
True, Marco. But young Joseph was a promising lad. After the death of his father, he went on to study at Harvard, and eventually became a doctor. Not just any doctor, a well-respected one in Boston.
You could say, medicine was his first revolutionary act.
Nice one, Marco.
Beyond medicine, Warren was known for his eloquence. He delivered orations and was associated with notable figures like John Adams, Samuel Adams, Paul Revere, and John Hancock.
And let's not forget, he was also a key player in those early days of the Sons of Liberty, a group instrumental in rallying public opinion against the British.
With friends like those, who needs enemies?
That's right, Marco. But, speaking of enemies, Warren wasn't just a passive player. He was also deeply involved in the military side of the American Revolution.
And, to think he was never formally trained as a soldier. His role primarily was as a commissioned general. He was crucial in helping gather intelligence against the British.
Ah yes, our very own 18th century James Bond. Instead of shaken, not stirred, it was rebelling, not retreating.
And who could forget his role during the Siege of Boston? His most remembered for the Battle of Bunker Hill. A significant moment where he showed up not as a general, but as a fighter.
A brave move, showing true leadership.
As an intelligence gatherer, Warren was instrumental. He used his connections in the Masonic Lodge and his medical profession to get wind of what the British were up to. Remember, it was Warren who sent Paul Revere and William Dawes on their famous rides to warn of the British advance.
Talk about a game changer. Revere might have gotten the fame, but Warren was the puppet master behind the scenes.
Now, let's talk about Bunker Hill. Warren's role was pivotal. Even though he had been appointed as a general, he opted to fight in the front lines.
He believed in leading from the front. And that bravery was admirable, but it came at a price.
Tragically, during the Battle of Bunker Hill, Warren was killed. And there's some debate over his death. Some accounts suggest he was shot in the face, while others imply he was executed after the battle.
There were undoubtedly those against his execution. After all, he was a recognized figure. But the grim reality of war meant that his fate was sealed. His death was a severe blow to the American cause. But before we discuss his lasting impact, let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsors.
Introducing the game changer in energy boosts, Strike Force Energy. Elevate your drinks without the sugar, without the calories. Whether you're hitting the gym, the office, or the great outdoors, a dash of Strike Force Energy supercharges your drink and you. Dive into strikeforceenergy.com to explore. And hey, here's a little spark. Use code UTSALAX24 at checkout for a cool 20% off. That's UTSALAX24. Strike Force Energy, the power-up you've been waiting for.
Welcome back, folks.
Warren's impact was profound. His death became a rallying point, a symbol of the American cause.
And while he may not be as well known today as some other revolutionaries, he was an inspiration for the likes of Washington and the Adams. They saw him as a martyr, a hero of the cause.
He embodied the spirit of resistance. He was a doctor, orator, soldier, spy, and leader.
And let's not forget, the town of Warren, Massachusetts, is named in his honor.
A fitting tribute.
Dr. Joseph Warren, a true American hero. From his early life to his brave end, he left a legacy that continues to inspire.
So the next time you think of the American Revolution, spare a thought for this unsung hero. He might not be on our money, but he's definitely rich in history.
Well put, Chuck.
And that's all for today's episode on Dr. Joseph Warren. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and leave a review.
And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for another deep dive into history. Stay curious, folks.